Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here with some book signing tips and tricks. So it's March 2024 when I am filming this video, and it is about to be the first book signing that I'm going to this year. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while of just kind of compiling all of the book signing tips and tricks that I have picked up and have kind of figured out myself along the way. I have gone to multiple book signings. I think I went to 5 or 6 last year alone, and so I feel like I know some things that I want to share with others who are maybe going to their first book signing, or for people who maybe have already gone to book signings but want like some of the little tips and tricks that I like to do for myself. So just kind of sharing all the things in one spot. I have always shared vlogs of every book signing that I've gone to. I have a whole playlist of that, so I'll share that in the description of the video, as well as maybe add it up in the cards of this as well, so that you can go and see. I usually share like some of the beforehand kind of tips along the way, and I will share everything, like the packing experience, what I bring. I will show the signing rooms, getting ready, the things that we do out and about, kind of before and after events, like all of the things. I share all the stuff. So while I have shared kind of tips and tricks along the way in those videos, I wanted one that's just dedicated strictly to book signing tips. So that is what this video is going to be. So like I mentioned, it's March 2024, and so I'm about to go to the Sweetgrass, which is a Charleston, South Carolina book signing that's happening in the end of March, kind of mid-end of March 2024. So with that happening soon, I decided, you know what, let's like share all the tips and tricks right now. So I have quite a few trips planned this year. Book signings, you usually book them quite a while out, so I am very excited for a bunch of these, and like I said, just to get into these tips and tricks. So I do have my notes here, which I'm going to be referring to because I am very much a notes and organized person, so I just want to make sure that I share everything that I can think of in one spot in this video. So hopefully this helps you if you're going to a book signing, if you kind of want to know what happens at them, any of those things. So first up, I want to put like a little caveat to this, which you can listen to everything that I do in this video and do it as well, or you can kind of like menu select and pick the items that fit to what you want to get out of the book signing experience. So this is very much like an experience where you can pick as many of these things you want to do or as little of the things that you want to do. Like if you want to just go in with vibes only and just have a good time and go with the flow, you can totally do that. But I am somebody who is very organized and likes lists and plans things out. So this is kind of helping maybe the person who wants that, or maybe you want to be like the go with the flow, but also have like a little bit of a plan in the back of your mind. So whichever the case, just take all of these with like a grain of salt. This is just what works for me. Might not work for you, and that's totally fine too, but maybe some of these things in this video will work for you. So the first tip that I have is to join the Facebook group. Most of the events and signings, actually all of the signings I've gone to, they all have like Facebook event groups where they're private, so like nobody on your friends list who isn't already in the group, they won't see like your things that you share or anything like that on your like Facebook friends list. If you're worried about that, like the groups are private, but basically this is where everything regarding the event is going to be. This is where the event organizers will kind of share when the tickets are going on sale, when the authors are added, who's going to be going to this event, kind of the vendors added, all of those things. I think I mentioned earlier that most signings nowadays, they'll start selling their tickets like a year out. So some of these events you're going to want to get into the Facebook group immediately, just so you know kind of when the release dates are happening and all of those things. Most signings as well, like you're going to learn about them if you're on social media. So if you follow some of your favorite authors, whether you get their newsletters, you're on their Instagrams, you are in their Facebook like reader groups, all of those things is how you can find out maybe where some of your favorite authors are going to be signing at, as well as if you follow like other bookish people, they will usually share like which events and signing tickets and things like that are coming up that they're excited for, that they're going to. Some of these events recur every single year. So like if you went to it the previous year, you know it's probably going to be happening again the following year. Kind of things like that is how you can find out about these signings. So like I mentioned, the Facebook group is super important to find out when tickets will go on sale, which authors are going to be coming, the vendors that will be there, kind of all of those things. Also in the Facebook group is where authors are going to post their pre-order forms. So basically these are forms where you can pre-order books from your favorite authors or from authors that you want to try out. Nowadays, the group moderators in the Facebook event group will usually compile a list of all the pre-orders and have like one master list of all the forms. So I'll have like a spreadsheet, like this author, their pre-order form, when it closes, things like that, and just like a very nice spreadsheet where it's all compiled. So that is in the Facebook groups as well. This is also where you can buy and resell tickets. So basically if the event sold out and you just found out about it, you're wanting to get a ticket, there's a chance, like a slight chance with some of these, that you could buy a resale ticket in this group. This is usually where they'll have a thread of where you can also offload your ticket. So if you're wanting to get rid of your ticket, you know, there is usually a place where there is like a whole thread of people looking for tickets, selling tickets, looking for roommates, all of those things. That of course is said with like a little bit of a caveat of you're not going to always have the chance to get resale tickets. Some of these events are sold out and like there's no chance of tickets coming available. So just know that. Also, like some events do have kind of specifications of how you can resell and purchase tickets. Sometimes they handle it through their own forms. Sometimes you can resell them to others. Like each event is going to be different. Also, like I was talking about roommates. So some of these Facebook groups is where you can meet maybe other travelers who are going as well, like solo travelers, I should say. Like some people, they don't have any bookish friends and that's totally fine. So usually in this group is where there will be people looking maybe for other roommates. Like if you're wanting to share the hotel or share an Airbnb or whatever the case with other people, there will usually be like threads for that. There will also be threads in these groups usually of people who are traveling solo and maybe want to hang out or meet bookish friends and make bookish friends on these trips. So they'll usually have threads of like, you know, I'm coming in this day, like does anybody want to meet up for lunch at this bar or this restaurant, or kind of things like that within the hotel. Also, people will usually share things that they're doing kind of before and after the event in the local area, because most people are traveling to these events. So sometimes people will share like, oh, this show's happening the night before in Vegas, like I'm going to it if anybody wants to join, kind of things like that. So like if you are somebody who wants to make maybe new bookish friends and things like that, there are things like that. I mean, of course, kind of enter at your own risk and maybe don't join everything or like get to know people before you're just joining, you know, kind of these strangers online, but just know there are events like that if that's your jam. Also in the Facebook group is where authors will share as well if they're doing like special exclusive special editions for the event, if they're doing signing exclusive, things like that, that will usually be announced in the Facebook group as well. The Facebook group as well, closer to the time that the event is happening, this is where the event organizers will share like a map or a layout of the room. So you kind of get an idea of what the layout of where every author is going to be, what the ballroom looks like, whatever room they're using, and you'll get an idea and kind of can like map out where you need to go, where you want to go, and get a clear idea of how the room looks, where everybody is seated. So this is like kind of an idea of a layout map where they will have kind of all the tables, author names, things like that. This is one that I had for Book Bonanza for 2023. So as you can see, I kind of color coded it and highlighted like authors that I wanted to see, authors I had pre-orders for, ones I wanted to go buy if they had like special editions at their tables, kind of things like that. So it will give you kind of the layout and the map for every event before you go, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like in the room. So yeah, most important part of this little section is definitely join the Facebook group if you can. Like I said, I'm only on Facebook nowadays for book groups and reader groups. Like that's all I sign on for, is to go into kind of the groups that I'm in for book related things. So yeah, Facebook group, super important. This is where the majority of kind of signing organizers are going to share all the things related to the event beforehand, when it's going on, kind of all of those things. So this is definitely kind of the hub of where you want to be. All right, so I'm just going to kind of work through tips, like kind of if you're planning ahead, getting the tickets, joining the Facebook group, doing pre-orders, all of those things, kind of the items I buy before I even go, and then kind of working into when we get into the actual book signing room. So that's kind of how I'm doing this video. So next up, my tip is to buy a collapsible book cart. These are so useful. I have used one at every single book signing I've gone to. They travel with me. Like I said, they collapse down so they fit into my suitcase, and these have gone everywhere with me. Every single book signing that I have gone to, I've gone to small events, I've gone to the bigger events, they've all allowed a book cart. This isn't to say that every book signing is going to allow them, so like just join those Facebook groups ahead of time, because they'll usually share if they have specifications of if you can or cannot bring kind of book carts into the events, as well as like if they have a size limit for book carts as well. I know most kind of use the like milk crate size, which is basically, I think it's like an 18 by 18 by 18 kind of square box, which I will show. But like I said, the signing organizers will or should share that info before you go onto these signing events. So basically here is what my cart looks like. Like I said, it folds down and it goes right into my suitcase. It fits perfectly. I've used like the kind of larger size suitcase as well as the medium size. I haven't tried to put this one in a carry-on, so I'm not quite sure. It might fit kind of depending on the size of your carry-on though, but I've always put it in my checked bag. So here is this. Like I said, I just put like stickers and stuff that you get at signings and things like that on it. Kind of makes it more unique and more of your own. I will link this in the description of the video as well. There are a ton, like I got this off of Amazon. It came already ready to go, and it's been super useful. Like I've had it for 2 years. It's gone on many trips, been in very many packed bags, and it has stayed good. So here it is, and I will show how it works. So it has this part, and then these unclip on the sides. Trying to put this together in the air is definitely an interesting experience. It opens up like this, and so basically it looks like that. And it has a little part on the inside that I would just fold down. And so basically this is what it looks like. You wheel it around, It has a base. It is very deep on the inside. I have fit probably like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 books in here, as well as like tote bags I put on top as well. It has a lid. So I know some people do like sit on their book carts too, or lean on them, have a knee on there, whatever the case when you're kind of waiting in these long lines. So yeah, a book cart, super duper helpful. Wouldn't recommend going to a book signing without one. There are also some like additional items that I have found that I like to bring when I go as well. So this is kind of a collapsible kind of drink carrier that I just slip right on to my cart. So basically this is the handle. So it slips on like so and kind of sits either facing forward or backwards. There's a little pocket in here to kind of put my phone. I'll maybe put like my badge for the room, or if I get like book swag from the authors, I'll slip that in there sometimes as well. And then it has two little cup holders as well for like your drinks or water bottles. Again, I will link that in the description of the video as well. That's super helpful. Like I said, it folds down and it is collapsible as well, which I like when I'm traveling. There are tons of different options out there, but that is the one that I like. All right, so now we're going to talk about kind of pre-ordering books and what I recommend, or kind of tips about those as well. So you definitely don't have to pre-order books. This is of course if you want to. I will say that most authors are not going to carry a lot of their books or bring a lot of their books to these events. I have found that most authors, like, they're traveling as well, so they're not going to pack and bring all of their books that they have in their backlist. Some authors will bring no books. Some authors will bring a lot of books. Some authors only bring maybe like scratch and dent books that they're trying to get rid of. Some authors will bring maybe their newest book, their newest series, and that's it. So they're usually working with limited amounts, small inventory, kind of things like that. So don't go expecting like every author there to have every single book that you want to pick up. So that's why these pre-orders are there. Pre-orders are kind of helpful as well, as some authors will offer deals where maybe if you purchase like a bundle of their books or a whole series, you get like a percentage or a dollar amount off. So it makes it a little cheaper to buy it as a bundle or to purchase from them instead of maybe Amazon or bookstores around you. I would definitely check for yourself though of maybe some of the places that you usually buy books, whether that's Amazon or other bookstores, and maybe see if some of these authors are even offering deals, or if it's cheaper for you to purchase the books elsewhere and bring, because just because it's a pre-order, it's not always cheaper. So just know that. So sometimes they'll offer like an exclusive tote or exclusive swag or kind of something like that that you're going to get along with your order that you wouldn't get from them if you didn't pre-order. So sometimes it's like maybe a little novella or a special sticker or a special tote bag, kind of things like that, to kind of make the pre-ordering with them like as an incentive. Pre-orders are also important too if you want like maybe some of the special edition exclusives that I talked about. A lot of authors do that nowadays, and they will offer kind of the special edition, signing edition exclusive on their pre-order form, and they won't bring a ton of extras with them, and like you don't want to have to worry about rushing to their table maybe the day of. So doing the pre-orders for those is super helpful as well. Of course, like I said, you don't have to pre-order anything from any author. You can bring books from home. If you have a ton of books, like I have all these books behind me, I have totally packed a ton of these books and brought them to events. Authors don't care. They're just happy to see you, happy that you love their books, and they don't care if you're going to pre-order, buy the books there, bring your own books from home. I have seen people ask like, will authors be offended if you already have like maybe a used, worn up copy of their book? No, they're going to love it because it shows that you love their book. Next, for packing books, definitely pack your books safely when you are traveling with them. They're going to be in your luggage, and if you're doing a checked bag, that's getting tossed around, thrown around all over the place. So make sure your books are protected safely. I usually bring a book sleeves where I will slip a book or two in each book sleeve depending on how big it is, and kind of fit all of mine in there like that, so they are padded and protected and all of those things. You can have book sleeves, make your own, purchase your own. I have even used the ones that I get from maybe book boxes and things like that. We use those as well, just kind of like protect your books. Common sense, but like book sleeves definitely help for that. So I have done both checked bags and carry-ons for my books. Usually what I do is check a bag. My airline's super nice and we get 2 free checked bags. I know not every airline is going to be like that, so definitely check with your airline, of course, ahead of time and figure that out with your own budgeting. But I usually do a checked bag with a bunch of books just because I don't want to be carrying those all around and they get heavy, as well as then I do a carry-on as well. And usually the carry-on, I'll have maybe some of the special editions that I have that I don't want to lose, or the kind of rarer first print editions that I have, like when I went to meet Beverly Jenkins at a recent book signing last year. My original copy of Indigo with the gorgeous cover, that one was definitely in my carry-on with me at all times. Like I didn't want to part from that beautiful baby. So that's generally just how I kind of work with checked bags, as well as I always bring this super handy luggage scale. I know some suitcases nowadays have like a scale built in, but if you don't, these are super cheap on Amazon. That's where I got mine. You just kind of connect this around the handle of your luggage, hold it up and it will tell you the weight that it's at. So like if you're on an airline that maybe only allows a 50 pounds weight limit for a bag, this is what I use to maybe when I'm at the event and I'm trying to like pack things up, I can kind of distribute the weight evenly. I can also check the weight to make sure that my bag isn't over, because sometimes when you lift them, you're like, ooh, this feels so over, it's so heavy, but then you check with the weight scale and you're totally fine. So this has been super handy as well. It is the rechargeable one as well. Again, I will link it in the description of the video. I got this off of Amazon. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the event hotel. So most signings will work with a local hotel. That's usually where the event is. They'll use like a kind of conference center or a ballroom within the hotel, and the event organizers will kind of have a special rate that they're working with the hotel to offer rooms for you. Just know that most of these hotels are gonna sell out super quickly because there are a lot of people kind of coming in for events, and the hotel rooms in the hotel room block with the specific like cheaper rate is gonna go kind of quickly. So definitely be on top of that if you can. Usually when you purchase a signing ticket, that will come with the link for the hotel link of how to get the cheaper room rates. Some of them will share that in the Facebook group, kind of all of those places. So just know they go kind of quickly, and to be kind of on top of that if you're wanting to stay at the hotel where the event is happening. So I've done it both ways, but I definitely prefer staying at the event hotel. It just kind of makes it a lot easier of where you're there. You just have your book cart, you hop in the elevator, you go down or up some floors, you're at the event room. Just makes it easier, especially if you want to like go back to your room in between things and all of that, or have to go drop off books, pick up new books, just be able to get to your room easier, go change, go take a break, any of those things. It's very helpful having a room in the event hotel just so you can, you know, hop on the elevator, be up to your room, change, take a nap, get a snack, do any of those things and head back down. On top of that, it makes it helpful for maybe before or after the event. You're not having to worry about how you're going to get to the hotel with your book cart, with all your book items, grabbing an Uber, walking to the hotel, whatever you're doing. You don't have to worry about that because you're already there. So I like that part, as well as kind of when you're at the event, you're going to see before and after. Like you will run into other bookish friends, maybe see people that you know from Instagram, and maybe meet bookish friends who you see are like wearing bookish swag, and you'd be like, hey, are you here for this event? Because I am too. You can meet people that way, run into friends you know. Authors will be hanging out there before and after events. Like it just makes it super fun to just kind of be at the event where it's all taking place. So when I've gone, I've always shared a room with bookish friends. So people that I already know or have met or talked to online for years, we have shared rooms, and it kind of just makes it easier. Like it makes it more fun as well. Like you're with people who are also there for the event. You get to spend time together. Most of these events, like I love book signings because of the people and the friends that you get to hang out with while there, like while seeing the authors, and all of that is super fun. Like obviously hanging out with friends is what makes it worthwhile as well. So being with each other in the same room, you know, just like can easily go hang out and things like that makes it super helpful, as well as you usually like split the room costs as well. So there is that aspect to it as well. So now we're gonna talk about getting books signed. So some authors or events will have limits on how many books you can get signed by a specific author. Maybe if that author is popular or in high demand, like their line is constantly full, some of them will enforce like a kind of book limit of maybe you can only bring 5 books to this author to get signed. Maybe it will be 1 book, maybe 2 books. It kind of just depends on the author and the event. I don't think I've ever been at any where it is 1 or 2. It's usually like 5. Even sometimes it will be like a super popular, busy author, and the author will be like, I don't care, I'm gonna sign anything you bring to me. So that's kind of dependent on the author, on the event, kind of things like that. But also just kind of like a common courtesy, like if the line is super long behind you, maybe don't bring out all 30 books, 50 books at once for a specific author. Like read the room and kind of, you know, make your own assumptions from there. And when some of these authors do have the book signing limit, like I said, if they're only saying, you know, I'll only sign 5 because my line is really busy, then that doesn't mean you can only get 5 signed from them like the whole event. That just means if you want to get maybe 5 more signed, you're gonna have to get back into their line again and go through again, which if it's your favorite author, maybe that is worth it to you. So kind of just plan accordingly. That way, like I said, most of these kind of limits and things like that, if there are any, will be put into place like in the book signing Facebook group ahead of time so that you'll kind of know and can plan accordingly. Like I said, most there are none, but there are the few instances where there is maybe the case of I'll only sign this amount of books, or I will only personalize 1 book, but I can sign, you know, other books with just my signature, kind of things like that. So another question that people have asked me is if you can bring other items besides just books to get signed. Absolutely. Most authors will sign anything that you bring to them. So like this is a book sleeve, which some of these events, the vendors will have like kind of specific swag items for the event. This was for Love in Vegas. So this was like a super cute kind of book sleeve where it kind of looks like a library checkout where the authors would sign it. This was an item that was available to purchase at the event. I've seen some people bring like Kindle sleeves, book sleeves from their home and just have those get signed. I've seen authors sign pillowcases, tote bags, stationery books, random books, kind of your own scrapbooks that you create. I personally bring like prints of the city. So like I said, I'm getting ready for the Charleston event. So this is for Charleston, South Carolina. I got these printed off of Etsy, and I have a whole row, which I will show in kind of an overview that I have for every event that I've been to. So this is what it looks like ahead of time, and then this is what it looks like after the fact. Like I get them all signed up. It has the kind of cityscape of the city that I go to. So this is, I think, for Denver. This is for the Readers Take Denver signing, and then it has all the authors sign it. And at the end, I kind of put it in this shadow box kind of picture frame, which like I said, I have them all up here, which I will show in kind of a little B-roll video that you can see them all. Like, I love to have a full glance of the event, kind of have all the authors sign it while on top of signing their books as well. So yeah, I get these off of Etsy. You can totally do anything. I've seen some people do like maybe the image of the book signing event, which usually will have like their own logo. Anything that authors will sign and print, they'll sign canvases, art prints, whatever you have, they'll sign. I've seen some people bring like skulls or like decorative items for their bookcases, which I thought were really cool to have kind of a signed thing that can be on your bookcase. So yeah, authors will sign whatever you bring them. Like I mentioned, some vendors will have items that you can purchase specifically for the event. So there are like book sleeves like this. There have been ones where they do like specific water bottles and have kind of like quotes of books and then have all the authors sign it, and they'll seal it for you and send it back home to you. I've seen some that do like candles and things that are specific for an author or for the event, and then have the authors sign that as well. Like, there are tons of cool items out there that you can find and get signed besides just bringing a book. Like, if you don't own physical books, you don't even have to bring a book. Like, you can have them sign anything you want. So another thing that's super helpful with getting books signed is prepping your books ahead of time. I do this at home before the event when I'm pulling books from my shelves and getting them ready to be packed up and go to events. You can do it beforehand, you can do it at the event, whatever the case. So I will grab a Post-it note and put it right inside the page that I want printed with my name kind of clearly written. As you can see, I put the sticky part there, and so the name is right there. So you can like clearly see where it's at in the book. They will flip to that page, and then it's clearly written how your name is, because when you're in these big signing event rooms, you're not going to want to be yelling across your name of how to spell it. If you have kind of a unique spelling, makes it easier for you and the author as well. So they don't have to be asking, how do you spell your name? Do you want it personalized? Like, you just put it on the Post-it note, and then they're able to just kind of do their thing and talk to you at the same time, instead of having to worry about, how do you spell your name? Did I spell it right? Do you want this personalized? Kind of things like that. Makes it easier for them and easier for you. Helps the line go quickly and smoothly. At events nowadays, I've noticed that author assistants, or maybe people who are helping with the line for an author, they will come around and ask, hey, do you have your Post-it notes ready? Do you have your book where you want it in the book? Like, they'll come around and say, okay, the author's signing on this page. This is where the Post-it note needs to go. So like kind of those things to, again, help the line go smoothly, faster, better when you're in line. Like I said, I do mine ahead of time at home, but I also always bring Post-it notes with me. I'm just a very organized person, so I always have items with me. And it also helps, like, if you're picking up maybe special editions there or extra books that you're purchasing at the event, you have Post-it notes to maybe slap in there if you need any extras, as well as just having it for maybe friends and people around you. I've totally given people my Post-it note pack and be like, here you go, put your names in all your books, you know, handing them out. So if you're ever at an event, and I'm there too, and you need Post-it notes, come and find me. All right, so now on to just some like quick, easy tips for when you're in the signing room. Definitely stay hydrated, drink water. You're gonna be up and talking a ton, so definitely stay hydrated. These rooms get really hot, so just know that. Most signings will have kind of water stations around where you can maybe fill up a water bottle. They'll have like the little disposable cups, whatever the case, to kind of get water as well. So just know that, or just bring your own water bottle, fill it up, have it in the room. You're gonna need the water. If you're a snack person, bring snacks. Usually I'll have like a tote bag. It is right here. So I usually have a fun little tote bag, which, I mean, I get these tote bags all the time in kind of like book boxes and things like that that I've collected or have. This one's just super fun because it says book money. So I always bring this to signing events, and I always just have this ready to go. So it is packed, and yeah, I think it has tissues. I do bring extra Sharpies and things just for my own case, in case I need to write on my Post-its. Like I said, I have my Post-it notes here. I have an eyeglass cleaning cloth because, as you can tell, I wear glasses, and this was actually from, I think, Nikki Sloan. Yeah, she had these available at one of her book signing things, so I grabbed those. Somebody gave me one of these one time at a book signing, like a little cute care package. So it has like a hair tie, some Band-Aids, some Advil, some like cleaning hand towelettes as well. So I just keep all of that stuff in here. This is like my go bag. This is also where I will put like the swag that I get when I'm at signings as well. Like the kind of, you'll get a bunch of swag there, like art prints, stickers, bookmarks, kind of all of those things from authors' tables. I will put that in here, and this all goes into my book cart. So I'm not just like having things randomly thrown in my book cart. I kind of just put it all in my little tote bag while I'm there. But yeah, back to the snacks. So usually in that, I will bring like a granola bar, maybe some trail mix, maybe a little thing of like Skittles or any kind of like sugar or candy you want. Have all of that with you as well. That way you don't have to leave the room and you have all your snacks with you. Another one is to wear comfortable shoes. You're gonna be on your feet all day, waiting in lines, standing around, not only walking, but usually standing a lot as well in some of these lines waiting. So definitely wear comfortable shoes. There will be people who definitely dress up, and that's totally fine if that's your jam and you want to look super cute in photos. But for the most case, people are going to be wearing comfortable clothes around. I'll usually wear like a bookish shirt, maybe a cute skirt, and then some cute like tennis shoes or something like that to be comfortable when I'm walking and standing around. Like I said, most of these signings will be in kind of a conference room at a hotel. So sometimes it's concrete floor that you're standing on for a long amount of time. So just, you know, wear comfortable shoes. Another one, like I said, these rooms get very packed, very hot quickly. So having a small kind of portable fan that you can recharge and use, I bring those all the time and just kind of maybe fan myself off while I'm waiting in some of these lines that are very hot and a bunch of people in the rooms. It could get hot really quickly. So a portable fan is super helpful. I got mine off of Amazon. I'll link it in the description of the video. Super helpful, rechargeable, super small and compact. I've taken it to like Disneyland, book signing events, all the things, and it's very useful. Another one is a portable charger that you can find a bunch on Amazon, and I will link maybe one in the description of the video as well that I have used in the past. Kind of just something to have to kind of recharge your phone or whatever the case when you're in the signing room. I think I've only had to use one maybe once when I'm at events, because usually, like I said, I'm staying at the hotel, so I'll charge my phone anytime I'm up in the room, and when I'm down in the signing event, you know, then it's like a go time and using my phone. My phone battery does last pretty well, so I haven't had to kind of recharge a ton, but definitely have that if you're on your phone a ton, or maybe you know your phone battery is going to go down. Definitely a portable charger for your phone is going to be helpful. So somebody asked if you're the one needing to bring markers to the events for authors to sign. No, authors will bring their own markers and pens. Some of them will have like a ton of options depending on if maybe some of their books are different colors or darker. They'll have like certain pens to show up on certain pages. Some authors have a whole method of they sign certain colors in certain books, which I think is always fun. So you don't have to bring your own markers or pens. The authors are going to have those at their table. Maybe if you specifically want like a certain color on maybe like one of your items you're getting signed besides a book, maybe bring that. But for the most case, authors are going to have all the markers, all the things with them at their tables. Another one is to take photos. Like this event is going to go by so fast, so definitely make sure to take photos. I'm a photo person, so I take a ton of photos all the time and kind of capture the event so you have those memories to kind of look back on. Like I said, most authors will have assistants or maybe people helping with their line. So those people will usually offer to take your photo with the author once you're done talking to them. Or if you have like friends with you, usually your friend and you will kind of swap off taking photos of each other with each other's phones, or if there's somebody behind you. Like I've been totally in some authors' lines where kind of like when you go into the room, your friends split up and everybody goes to different authors' tables. And there have been times when I'm at an author's table, I don't have a friend with me at that time. They don't have like anybody helping at their table. So I'll just ask the person behind me in line, like, hey, can you take my photo really quick? They're totally down for it. Or I've done selfies, like whatever the case, get those photos because you're going to want them after you leave the event. Another one is to make friends in line while you're waiting. Like you're going to be in a line at some point during this event. So while you're waiting in line, maybe look around, chat with the people around you if you're wanting to make friends, or if you're just wanting to like kind of make the time go by. You already have something in common, like you're both in the same author's line. So chat about that, maybe your favorite book by the author, whatever the case. If that's your jam and you're wanting to kind of make friends there or just help the time go by, usually I always chat around with the people in line around me. And that's just like a very easy way to start a conversation because you already know you both love the same author, you're going to meet them, so why not like just talk about their books. Another one was payment. So I usually bring cash and cards. Most authors will have like PayPal or Venmo options to pay for maybe some of the items they'll have for sale at their table. If you're getting a book, if you're getting art, swag, whatever the case, some of them will have items for sale. So most authors will have like a Venmo or PayPal way to pay, but usually the Wi-Fi in these places is going to be a little slow. There's a ton of people in here. The service can be a little slow. So having cash is kind of helpful as well. Some authors are cash only, which I have found most authors who are cash only in the past, they have put that ahead of time. Like again, back to that Facebook group, they'll put ahead of time, like I'm going to be cash only, or they'll share that on their Instagram or whatever the case. Someone said, how much are you spending at these book signings in the room? How much should you budget for books? That is going to be totally dependent on you. Not everybody's budget is going to be the same. So spending is going to be unique to you. So you can spend as much or as little as you want in these rooms. It's totally going to be dependent on you and your budget. Like I showed earlier, I have totally printed out the layout and map ahead of time to kind of be organized, know where I'm going. I would say maybe to look at the map anyways, just so you have a good head plan of where you want to go. If you print it or not, that's totally up to you. Most of the ones I go to, I will print a copy, but I also have it like on my phone saved as well, like in a photo folder. So I will pull up the room map and just kind of like zoom in, see where I need to go and all the things like that. Like you don't have to print it. You could also have it on your phone, just like easy access so you know you can get to it. Some of the times as well, like wristbanded authors, some of these events, the authors will be wristbanded, which just means that the event organizers and the author know that they're going to be in high demand and they don't want a huge line kind of taking up all the space. So they will do wristbands for authors where basically you go up to their line. All of these are kind of handled differently, but for the most case, if their line is long, they'll give you a wristband and say, okay, your number is 52. You need to come back within maybe 30 minutes or an hour to see if your number is up to maybe get in line, because they don't want the line to be super long in the room. So in some cases, when I've gotten wristbands, I will write like maybe the wristband number that I have for each of these authors, because you have like a bunch of wristbands that I usually put on my book cart, and then I'll just write like my numbers for each, because when you go back to that line, the author assistant is going to be like, okay, like what's your number for so-and-so? And I'll be like, oh, it's 53. Are we on that number yet? But like I said, if you're a more go with the flow type of person, you definitely don't need to bring this map, but it's just kind of easier for me. Like I'm more organized and like a plan and like a map. map and know where I'm going, who I'm going to see. Like, it just helps me plan accordingly ahead of time. And the most important tip is just to have fun. These events are going to go by so fast. You maybe spent a lot to get here, spend a lot on the ticket. Just have a good time, have fun, make friends, hang out with friends, have a fun time, chat with your favorite authors, all of those things. Try not to stress. I know it's hard to say because sometimes these events can be stressful and planning and all that can be stressful as well, but just try to have fun. You can make the signing experience however you want it to be, whether you want it to be planned and organized or if you don't, totally up to you. All right, so I think that is all I have for kind of book signing tips and tricks. Like I said, I have a whole playlist of every book signing that I've gone to. I've vlogged the whole experience, so definitely check out those if you want to see more of kind of behind the scenes, what some of these signing rooms look like, all of those things. Hopefully I answered as many of kind of the basic questions that you're going to want and need for a book signing. If you have any more questions, definitely drop them in the comments below. I am very happy to answer all of the things, chat anytime about book signings and give you the tips, give you the tricks, give you any of the things that you need. So definitely do so. If you have any book signings that you're excited to go to this year, definitely let me know. Like I said, I'm going to quite a few and I cannot wait. So hopefully I see you there or you have fun as well. If this was helpful, definitely let me know and maybe I will do a follow-up if you have more questions. If you prefer to leave me an emoji instead to let me know that you watched this video today, maybe leave me a book stack since we were talking about a book signing, all of the books there. So definitely do that. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I will see you in my next one.